Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between e.g. ThorZaIN and Liquid HerO. This is another Terran versus Protoss matchup, and actually the second match this week featuring the Protoss player HerO. We are on the map Metropolis. If I haven't said that already, let's go ahead and start the game off with some player information beginning down over here in the 9 o'clock spawn position. We have got our blue player ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN is a Terran player and is also a former Warcraft 3 player from Sweden. He is currently playing for Evil Geniuses, and just a little fun fact here, ThorZaIN is known for his slow, methodical method of play. Most recently, ThorZaIN took first place at the ASUS ROG, the GD Invitational. This was on October the 14th of this year. His opponent over here in the 3 o'clock spawn position is our red player HerO. Again, we did recently do a commentary with HerO in it. HerO is a Protoss player from South Korea, currently playing for Team Liquid, and a fun fact for him is he is known for his Warp Prism and Mothership, utilizing both those units to great effectiveness due to their great mobility. So yeah, there you go. A little bit of player information. He also most recently took first place at the North American Star League Season 4 event, which was on December the 9th of this year. All this information coming from TeamLiquid.net. You can find a whole bunch of professional player profiles there if that's something you're interested in seeing. Let's go ahead now and hop into this game. ThorZaIN will be opening up here with a 1 racks into expansion. You can see starting off with that first barracks, also finishing his wall off with the second supply depot nice and early to prevent any potential scouts from his opponent. Although, as we can see, HerO has now just started to move out with his probe scout, so wouldn't have been even near making it into the main, but better safe than sorry, I suppose, for ThorZaIN. So we should be expecting a command center to be coming out and likely built inside of the main sometime very soon here for ThorZaIN, and then beyond that we'll have to wait to see what he decides to do. Probe Scout now moving out for HerO and is moving directly across towards that 9 o'clock spawn position. Also an SCV Scout for ThorZaIN, checking the 12 o'clock first, so he's going to be scouting out his opponent a little bit later here as HerO now makes his way towards the main. Encounters that first Marine though, is forced to pull back. And we do have that orbital command building and lots of resources piling up. Still no command center. He can afford it right now, but has yet to start building it. I wonder if he try. Yeah, okay, there we go. So he was waiting to kill off the probe so that he could build the command center here. It is natural as opposed to trying to hide it and start building it in his main. This, of course, is going to allow him to start mining at the natural expansion much sooner than if he were to build it in his main and then have to lift it off and land it at the natural. Following up with another barracks here as well, so still no refineries for ThorZaIN. SCV Scout over here for ThorZaIN to war in, I don't know if he's made it in yet. Has he made it in the main? Yes, he has. He snuck his way on into the main, but didn't get too far. And now that he's going to encounter a Stalker, he's pretty much done for. The Stalker moves forward, finishes off the SCV, now allowing HerO to come out with an expansion of his own. So both players coming out with an early expansion, although we did see ThorZaIN get that up a bit sooner there than HerO, so he'll be able to get to mining a little bit quicker than our Protoss player will. And we do have the Warp Gate research coming out, as well as a follow-up sentry, so we'll be opening up Zealot, Stalker, Sentry, and then we might see it's either going to be another Stalker or Sentry after that. That is the most likely possibility. Zelnaga Tower controlled here by the Zealot for HerO. HerO also moving out with his Stalker to try to do a bit of scouting and potentially some damage, although that control group of Marines enough to force him back right now, especially since they were sitting on the high ground. They've got that advantage there. You're going to pull back here to the safety of the bunker. Command center at the natural now changing into an orbital command, and he has started to make a transition here, getting some Vespene gas out of this now. Two built refineries, and he does have a tech lab coming down on this barracks as well. So that's going to allow him to start teching up and potentially come out with some Marauders as well. Yeah, he canceled the Marine that was in production, and there we go, just to get enough minerals to get that stim pack as soon as possible, and then now coming out with more Marines. So a bunch of Marines early on, and stim pack research is what we are seeing from ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN all set here in the safety of his bunker. We do have a proxy pylon for HerO though. I wonder if HerO is going to try to push out with a 3-gate push. Looks like that is going to be the case. So with this, he's going to be able to be a little bit aggressive and try to do some damage here, and you know, kill off a few of these Marines, kill off potentially some SCVs that might come down to repair. And yeah, we're gonna be seeing a push right in just one moment here from HerO. Love to see this early game aggression. He's not super crazy committing here. He's not doing it all in. He's just putting some pressure on ThorZaIN and trying to do some damage. We got a bunch of Marines chasing down the Stalker, and also a scouting Marine moving in this direction. He's about to walk into a death force though. Yeah, he's in trouble. It looks like he's going to continue to chase the probe down here, and this is going to allow the Stalkers, couple of sentries, and a Zealot to make the push. Here come the SCVs to go for the mass repair. Force fields, though, cutting off their ability to repair. He's really going to try to focus down that bunker. It's going to be close, gets it burning, but not enough. The Marines enough to force him back, and the SCVs get up to repair. So far, so good. He's taken some damage most certainly, but the bunker is still up. He's still alive and kicking. Looks like he's going to be all set here. No more follow-ups from this pylon, so just the Stalkers that he's got sitting here. I'm going to just finish off this Marine that killed off his probe. He said, "You killed my probe. Goodbye, sir." Alright, so let's take a look at that trade-off, see how both players ended up. In terms of resources lost, about the same, and I do believe, yeah, we did see a few worker kills, 4 worker kills for HerO. ThorZaIN, though, has killed off 2 so far this game. I suppose there's that first scout, and then that second one right over there. I believe that those were the 2. The Stalkers will now be taking out this little destructible debris over here just for a future engagement, making sure he's got a wide avenue to move into. Well, he's having to deal with this bunker over here. I don't know if he knows. Does he know about this? Okay, so he does know about the bunker. He just really wants to get rid of these destructible debris, huh? There you go. And you know, right now, what is ThorZaIN going to do to stop him? Oh, he's going to stim up with his Marines and chase him down, try to target fire some of the low Stalkers, and then pick off any remaining ones. Very close to getting this one. Gets it. And stims again. Wow, what a commitment. Unfortunately, though, some extra warping of Stalkers. Gonna start to pick off the rest of these Marines, and the Marines are a goner, but he drops one more Stalker before he loses that. And again, another interesting engagement. HerO comes out behind there. You can see his resources lost, so that was a wise move there for ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN transitioning into Bio and Medevac. He's got Marine Marauder Medevac in the works here. Sitting, yeah, 4 Marauders, 2 Marines, and 2 Medevacs right now, with a bunch more in production. Combat shields and concussive shells also coming through. Back over here for HerO. Haven't checked his base in a while. All the action's been out front of ThorZaIN's base. Speaking of ThorZaIN expansion over here, but let's go ahead and focus on HerO. What is he doing? Still has those 3 warp gates. Has transitioned now into a robotics facility with a robotics bay coming out, which will of course allow him to come through with some Colossus and 3 more gateways now, warping in here at his natural expansion. No works towards a 3rd right now, at least not yet. And again, we do have that 3rd currently building here for ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN will be moving out with a bio push. Marines, Marauders, and a couple of Medevacs now making their way across the map. Of course, with the Medevacs, he's got the potential of dropping into the main and bypassing the force here at the natural. So we'll see how he decides to play this. Stims up with the 1 Marauder and moves forward to get some scouting. Nice observer scout over here for HerO. HerO with any other scouts? Yes, with his observer, he has scouted out the command center building over here at the 3rd. HerO trying to move into his 3rd expansion. That gets taken out. Factory scout above the natural, just forcing those anti-air units to engage. I was thinking he was going to potentially try to push in for a flank, but not going to happen here. Lots of Zealots, plus that Colossus for defense. I think HerO would have mopped that up pretty handedly. Although ThorZaIN starting to mount some forces here in the center of the map, and peeling off with a scouting Marine to once again try to delay a potential expansion over here. Although we do have a Zealot warping in on the low ground, and HerO's forces busting through those debris. So while this Marine may kill off this probe, he's going to be in trouble after that. So there's the stem trying to kill the probe. Zealot saves the day. Probe able to place down the Nexus and a pylon, and now both players up into their 3rd bases. So we're just going to probably see some macro right now, unless we potentially see some drops here from ThorZaIN. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing any drops from HerO. No warp prisms in play, and he's going to be continuously pumping out those Colossus here out of his robotics facility as he works on that Colossus heavy army with some gateway unit support, and potentially preparing for a transition here with the Twilight Council coming through, which would allow him, of course, to make his way up into the Templar Archives to go for some High Templar and some Storm action. Also, the Twilight Council necessary to get those continuous upgrades. He is just about to finish Weapons Level 1, so he needs that to get Weapons Level 2 going, and another Forge will let him start getting those armor upgrades as well. Nice observer placement, spots the army here for ThorZaIN, and ThorZaIN moving forward looks to be preparing for another push. Although that first one didn't really amount to much except delaying this third a little bit. This does appear to be a sizable force, especially there with those Vikings to deal with those Colossus. Let's take a look at the numbers though. How many Colossus we do have in play? It is going to be 3 at the moment. And is that a 4th that just went through? No, so just 3 and a 4th, and now just in production. Twilight Council being used to get that Blink research. Blink Stalkers really good at chasing down medevacs, preventing the Terran player from basically retreating during any engagement. It makes it much more difficult for them to retreat with those Blink Stalkers. Also, Blink Stalkers great at stopping any drops that may come through. You can see that drop scout here, that observer, as well as those pylons on the edge of the base used to see any drops as they're making their way towards that main base. Large bioforce with some Vikings now moving towards the third. This could be a problem for HerO. He does not want to lose this. Vikings turning to engage those Colossus immediately. And we've got that bio stemming up, dealing with that Zealot frontal line. Vikings have been taken care of. There are still 2 Colossus in play. And the bio getting split with those force fields. Looks like HerO has enough to defend. We've got reinforcements streaming across the map, but that's not going to matter. He's going to be forced back right now. He just lost everything in that engagement. Great play there by HerO with those nice force fields. Having all the Zealots up front to try to soak up the damage from that bio, allowing those Colossus and Stalkers to pick them off from a distance. And look at that. Stalkers chasing down the retreating medevac. Takes out everything. Now HerO, feeling a little bit confident, starts to push towards that center Zelnaga tower. And we're going to see the bio of ThorZaIN now push back in a defensive position. And ThorZaIN nicely saturated over here. A little bit concerned about the defense of this expansion, though. You can see his position, allowing him to defend all of his bases right now, right in front of that natural expansion. Quickly able to get to that third, and also quickly able to get to his main if we saw any drops. But again, no War Prisms in play as of this point in time, so HerO won't be doing any dropping action, at least not yet. He is now moving out with his Blink Stalkers, though, and again, that high mobility of the Blink Stalkers allows him to harass and retreat when things get hairy. He's gonna get a free Marine kill right there. Scanning back behind the Stalkers just to see if there are any reinforcements, and then forces them back there. But again, with that Blink, really HerO has no problem making it to safety. Here we go though. They're gonna see some harass in the main with the observer scouting the high ground. This is gonna allow him to blink right into the main. And this should be oh no, he's decided not to do it. Okay. Deciding not to do it. I suppose could be really dangerous, you know, because we could just see ThorZaIN sit with half his bio down here and walk the rest into the main, and he would basically just sandwich HerO's Stalkers at that point, and obviously as a result he would end up losing those. I would really like to see some drop play just because it's exciting, but nothing occurring at the moment. And just as I say that, War Prism in production here for HerO, and we also have some High Templar being changed into Archons. Looks like he's not keeping any as just High Templar. He is now just coming out with that Psionic Storm research, so I'm actually kind of surprised he's not holding on to any of those, just so they can accumulate some energy and be able to storm once that research does finish. Having Archons, however, also obviously really, really good. Another expansion coming out over here for HerO right now as he's moving into his 4th. And we do have a 4th building right here for ThorZaIN. He'll just be lifting that off. And there we go, Blink Stalkers now in the main as HerO decides to make that move. His Observer still chilling out right here. Just does a little bit of damage. Now retreats, but again, as I mentioned before, some of that bile there on the low ground to take it out. But here come the cavalry reinforcing here. Oh boy. HerO reinforcing, pushing back that bile. We've got some Ghost on the high ground, prepared to EMP if necessary, and some Stalkers over here, which will now be spotted here by this sensor tower. I wonder if he's going to push forward to try to take that out. Stim to Marines, and force them back. The rest of the bio over here, those Stalkers, won't be able to do much right now. Another factory scout here for ThorZaIN. He lost his first one, rebuilds another one, and moves out with that. And still sticking with that bio composition plus those ghosts. Pretty much this is what I expected to see from ThorZaIN all game. Some Stalker harass down over here, and here comes the War Prism play as HerO moves into the main with his War Prism. He's gonna place that down, get that energy field, and charge Zealots now. Gonna start focusing down some of these attachments. This could be a real pain in the butt. Obviously, no Marauders coming out of here, no Double Marines coming out of here, and no Marauders coming out of this one either. The Vikings move forward to try to take out the War Prism, though he retreats, which is baffling to me. Also, we got a big push coming over here. The brunt of both armies engaging. Nice force fields along the Zealots to catch up, and we did see some counteracting EMPs there, depleting all those shields. That's going to be enough to force this army back right now. The Zealots have been dealt with, but the War Prism is still here as the Vikings that were engaging that decided to pull back. So HerO retreats briefly. He's got some more reinforcements coming from that pylon in the form of charged Zealots, and I really want to see something come out of there. He's just continued to do some damage. There we go, yes. Got a couple of Marines moving forward to take care of that. I was going to say, it's about time he deals with that. War Prism has been sitting in his main for a good minute or two. HerO still with the bulk of his army right here. Now with some High Templar to storm. Another EMP, and the Vikings just shredding apart these Colossus. This is a problem. Way too many Vikings for the Colossus to deal with. Zealots now in trouble, forced to turn around because even if he continued to retreat, the stimmed up bio would chase them down and take them out, and that was painful for HerO. Let's take another updated look here at the resources lost. ThorZaIN a little bit behind. Also had some extra worker kills for HerO. It's now up to 16 of those. That must have been from those Zealots that attacked the main. Not sure, to be honest with you. Finally, ThorZaIN spots that pylon, takes care of that. Another pylon over here, that gets spotted as well. Zealots will chase off that Marine, but now that he knows about that, he should be able to push back with a little bit of a stronger force to take that out. There we go. Ooh, comes up with some weakened units, though, allowing those Zealots to get a couple of kills, and he says, hey, I'm going to capitalize on this. Here's some more Zealots to defend this pylon position, and another War Prism, this one filled with 2 High Templar and 2 Zealots. No counter drops here from ThorZaIN, too busy defending at the moment. Here come High Templar storms, and a couple of Zealots forcing all those SCVs off the line. Ooh, 26 worker kills now for HerO. Also some weakened up SCVs so that another storm drop could do even more damage. And he hangs on to both those High Templar. One of them a little bit injured, but manages to get away with it. Love it, love it, love it. You know, at the start of this game I mentioned, I don't pre-screen these games. This was literally just a fact from Wikipedia that HerO is known for abusing War Prisms and motherships. Maybe we'll see a mothership at some point. Not as likely in this matchup. In PvZ, sure, but here not as likely. But look at these War Prisms go to work, man, I tell ya. Viking chasing down this War Prism. Oh, it's going to be pretty close. War Prism a little bit faster, though, is able to get away. And this War Prism deciding against dropping. It looks like those few Marines was enough of a deterrent. But not once he fills up with these Zealots. He's going to drop the Zealots, place down that War Prism energy field, and then kind of go from there. And another War Prism coming from this direction. Still ThorZaIN. No counter aggression at all. He is just sitting at home, mackerong. He's got no drops, nothing like that. Too really focused, I suppose, on defending against these potential drops. And look at this. Uh-oh. Lots of Zealots in the main once again, going straight for those attachments, forcing some of the army of ThorZaIN back. We get some drops over here, storms going down, and a big push coming across the center of the map as well. These are so many Zealots. Now he is going to be able to take out that War Prism. That's a lot of Zealots to deal with. It's going to do some more damage. This War Prism still alive and kicking. And it looks like HerO decided to pull back there with those Colossus, though he's making his way over here with some Blink Stalkers. I want to see that War Prism do something. All the Zealots finally get taken care of, but man, oh man, did he do some damage there. Just all game so far, it's been HerO consistently on the aggressive, and ThorZaIN's been busy defending. His income's suffering right now. He's not mining from 2 of his bases. Look at HerO's huge income advantage at the moment. This base is not mining, that base is not mining. Oh my lord. ThorZaIN, he just seems lost right now. I mean, he's literally doing
Mineral field
what seems like nothing except, you know, scrambling to try to take care of all of these War Prisms and defend against these drops, which I understand you've got to defend against drops, but if he does not take an aggressive stance, he's going to continuously fall behind. I mean, right now he is in a bad way as far as I'm concerned. Huge income advantage going to HerO this game, and they're about even in terms of resources lost. Plus, HerO's also killed off 28 workers. I mean, you just look at the numbers. That's an advantage. That is no doubt an advantage, at least at this point in the game. So we're going to need to see ThorZaIN do something drastic here to turn things around. You got to keep in mind, though, all it takes is one big engagement, one large engagement with this huge army against what we're seeing just sitting right here. I guess just waiting to get picked off. I mean, one large engagement is all it takes to turn the battle, and ThorZaIN can push out with a huge counterattack, and HerO could have trouble defending against it. But HerO, I love the playstyle. I love the aggressive playstyle. Absolutely love it. We've got now another 2 War Prisms moving out. One over here is going to take out this sensor tower. So many Vikings. Like, call in the 17 Vikings, please, to deal with this 1 War Prism. Seriously, that is too funny. Our War Prism over here, going to be placing down some units and then picking them up in the War Prism itself to use it for a drop. Or is he defending for an expansion? He's getting another expansion. Holy cow. The income advantage. The income advantage cannot be understated. That is ridiculous. That War Prism was dealt with, it appears. The massive Vikings were able to take that out, and we saw something over there that also got taken out. ThorZaIN moving up for another expansion, but we do have HerO at an expansion advantage right now. And once more, I'll say it for the millionth time, that income advantage. Dat income advantage. HerO still aggressive, a Blink Stalker's in the main, taking out attachments all over the place. And the greatest thing here with what HerO is doing is he's disrupting in taking out these attachments and dropping these barracks. He's really messing up the production capabilities of ThorZaIN. And then hitting the front here at the same time, dropping some more Zealot bombs, and again taking out these attachments, really cut back on the Marauder production that is potential there for ThorZaIN. And still no counter response at all from ThorZaIN. No counter drops to try to mess up the economy of HerO. And how easy would it be? Look at this. There's no cannons back here. There's no cannons back here. He could for sure go for some harass. Drop harass and kill off some workers. Now sure, we expect HerO to pull off with those workers and not take too many losses, but man, a little bit's better than nothing. Gonna be delaying this expansion, also moving down with the High Templar. We're gonna see a huge storm. Very good though. ThorZaIN pulls back in time. That would have been really devastating as there were so many SCVs over here. Uh-oh. By War Prism turns around for a storm to at least get some damage off in response, realizing he was about to lose everything. And HerO now will be sitting with his 6th base over here. Now I saw 4 command centers in production, so ThorZaIN definitely realizing he needs to get his income up and running. HerO now just kind of waltzing through the main and natural. ThorZaIN pushes back with his army and takes out those Colossus, also taking out a few High Templar. Blink Stalkers, those are probably going to be gone as well. Just going to sit down here with most of his force and then peel a little bit up into the main. Bit of miss micro with those Vikings, losing them unnecessarily. There's really no reason for them to be there unless he planned to drop them on the ground, which he didn't. So again, miss micro for ThorZaIN, losing some units. That does not help in a situation like this where he really, as far as I'm concerned, is a bit far behind. Really can't have mistakes like that. Just exponentially adds to your problem. Oh man, this has really been painful for me to watch. I think ThorZaIN's an awesome player. I've enjoyed a lot of his games, but I tell you, how passive he's been. He does not even know. I mean, I'm sure he knows that there are expansions happening, but he has not scouted out these 2 expansions. No idea. You know, we haven't seen any potential counter nuke harass. We haven't even seen any defensive nukes. I think that'd be great for keeping back some of this harass. And now some cloaked units coming into play, but not for ThorZaIN. HerO coming out with some Dark Templar harass now. He's going to walk into the main with this, and it's going to be such a headache to deal with this. He's got to save his energy now and blow scans, or got to start building. Look at that. Guy's dead. Or he's got to start building some missile turrets for that cloak detection as well. Either way, it's a pain in the butt. DT over here has been dealt with. Just barely able to save that. A couple of DT get warped in. A EMP from a ghost is enough to deal with them. Sorry, that is the other thing that I did not mention. Yes, if you EMP with a ghost, it does drop the cloak of a cloaked unit. But that's, you know, that's sort of a, that's not what you want to use the ghost EMP for. You want to use it for the High Templar in these large engagements that will be taking place. Stalkers here. It's just the HerO just all over the place harassing. It's crazy. It is crazy. EMPs to decloak those observers. Here comes a ghost for some storm. What? Here comes the High Templar for some Storm. The Ghost and Bio deal with that, but he does take a little bit of damage. Some more Dark Templar over here, just sort of chilling out at the moment. ThorZaIN still in just defensive mode. It's these sort of situations, you know, you can't blame the player for playing defensive, right? I mean, he has just been on his back foot for so long. It's hard to get into the mindset of, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to push out, when you are non-stop having to defend, harass, against harass from your opponent. You know, it's definitely hard to get into the mindset, but that's the sort of thing you need to do, or else you just add upon your problems, like I mentioned. With the one exception of that one large engagement, you know, if ThorZaIN were to push out and roll over a bulk of what HerO had, then he could continue to move forward for a counterattack and win the game, but it's just so demoralizing to watch something like this. Just HerO, what seems to be like playing with his opponent, just sort of teasing him, taunting him with a drop here, hitting with some DT harass there, you know? Another drop over here, 3 DT, 4 Zealots. Now you'd have to keep in mind with HerO, with these engagements, that he is throwing away these units, and you can see with the resource loss tab, they're still about even though we've seen HerO consistently on the aggressive. It's because when you push these units, when you put these units into this position, you do throw them away. I mean, this is a clear example. Those units did nothing besides die. Would he kill 1 or 2 Marines, a Marauder? You know what I mean? That was a huge resource loss. That was not a good trade-off. And that's the sort of thing that can happen when you are constantly dropping. You do have to worry about not getting a fair trade-off. Stuff like this helps a lot, though, forcing the liftoff of all the barracks in the main. Production just halting completely there for ThorZaIN. So many ghosts here. They take a little bit of storm damage, but he's going to be able to deal with all of that real quickly. And we're still waiting for those barracks to re-land before ThorZaIN can get back to producing anything. And he's still got to add those attachments too, so that's more time that he has to wait. Our Templar over here doing some damage with the Zealot. Gonna need a scan or EMP to take care of that, and here comes the Colossus army as well. Look at that DT protecting the Stalker. DT now with 8 kills. It was a massive push. That is forced back with the defensive scan from ThorZaIN. Spotting the army, HerO says, not quite yet. Not going to engage yet. Some Stalkers over here doing damage to the economy. We've seen this little trick here from HerO all game. ThorZaIN just sitting here dealing with it. I just imagine right now ThorZaIN has the biggest headache in this game. You know? It's such a pain. I haven't really played StarCraft in a while, but trust me, I remember how painful it is to deal with super ultra aggressive opponents like HerO. Not saying that I've ever played against anyone of HerO's caliber, but you know what I'm saying, relatively speaking. Yeah, it's annoying just to deal with non-stop harass like this, but I don't know, man. How is he handling it? What do you guys think? How is ThorZaIN handling this harass? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion. Mothership, speaking of HerO's style of play, Warp Prism and Mothership. Here comes the Mothership. Mothership is in production. Where is it in production? In the main? There it is. Mothership in production in the main. We are going to be seeing that bad boy come into play this game. Unbelievably. Look at this too. About 40 minutes game time now. If you're looking at the YouTube time and you're saying, Force, it's like around 35 minutes. What the hell? StarCraft in-game time is slightly faster than real time. Always been the case. You can play it at a slower speed, but God, that's terrible. It's just crawling. crawling. Okay, let's take a look. It's even scout. All right, well, he's at least he's got some vision of these things. Still hasn't spotted those even. I guess that's not he. The obvious assumption is that these exist. Factory scout doing nothing over here. And something else that kills me. It just seems like ThorZaIN is just like, at the very least, he could have moved out with this factory scout to spot these a long time ago. It is obvious that they are there, and he knows that they are there, but still. So here comes a big push. This is sort of the moment that I've been waiting for all game, to see if ThorZaIN, with a large push, could take out the army of HerO and then just move out for a counterattack. Now he's taking a lot of storm damage. He's lost almost all of his Vikings pretty much exclusively to that storm damage. And yeah, I mean, this is a big push. This could be a scary moment for HerO. We'll have to see what he has in defense. He does have this Mothership, and that is going to be a problem for ThorZaIN, who now only has these 6 Vikings. He's got 10, so he's got 2 more somewhere else, plus 2 more in production. Yeah, HerO's all set. HerO is all set. He's managed to re-up his army, even though he lost a little bit there. You know, we finally, after about 40 minutes, we saw ThorZaIN move out early on with a sort of a push. He moved out, but didn't really do much with it except delay the third. And then he hasn't done anything else besides defend this entire game. And we just saw that push a moment ago, but that evidently was not enough. And here comes the mothership with the rest of the army. And this is going to be a scary moment for ThorZaIN. Mothership, what are you doing? Nothing, apparently. Gets EMP'd, gets taken out. Mothership, womp womp womp. Mothership does nothing whatsoever. More units here in the main, messing up the production capabilities of ThorZaIN once again. Look at that, just gunning straight for those attachments. It's huge, man. It is huge. If you're a Protoss player and you want to really mess up a Terran player's day, that is what you do. Walk up to those barracks and drop those tech labs and those reactors. They have to wait. They've got to wait for those things to rebuild if they want to make any more Marauders. And why produce Marines out of a single one when you can do it out of a double one? So you kind of have to wait for that reactor as well. It is a pain in the butt. But the slow, methodical nature here, slow, methodical pushing and harassing that we've been seeing from HerO all game continues to work in his favor. Income, still a huge advantage for him. Resources lost while HerO is behind. I don't think that's indicative of where he is, technically speaking, in this game. But will that big push happen? Good question. I don't know. DT finishing off the rest of these attachments, even now forcing liftoffs of the barracks. Another push over here with some big storms doing damage. You can see an EMP hit that main army. Is it enough, though? And another mothership in production as well. Oh my lord. How many? I would love to know how many barracks he has right now. Does he have them? Okay, so he's got a few barracks. Not quite enough. Pylon over here. Gonna see some warped in units do some harass. Probably some stalkers to sit over here. But yeah, what? 5 barracks at the 44 in-game time mark? That's not enough. Zealots and DT. Push to this planetary. Some mass repair from those SCVs, though, should deal with this. Once the DT can finish off undetected. We'll have to see. Scan to the high ground. Taking care of some of these units. Nice force field, though. Stopping the reinforcements. Doesn't matter, though. Mass repair, it wasn't enough to save this. The planetary, that was 7 kills. HerO coming down with the rest of his army.
Base is under attack.
Base is under attack. Can't believe that planetary stayed alive. Mass repair planetary is ridiculous. There were, what, around 10 zealots and a few DT over there? Man, oh man, mass repair on planetary. That is insane. Blink Stalkers moving forward, trying to weaken up a few of those Viking numbers just to help out those Colossus once an engagement does happen. And a forward scan there. 2 forward scans from ThorZaIN to spot the army. Oh, he's feeling bold. He is feeling bold, and he's starting to move out as a result. Zealots in the main, messing up production again. ThorZaIN just calls the GG. This game was crazy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this match here between ThorZaIN and HerO. HerO comes out on top after consistent aggression all game. What a great display of War Prism harass. I mean, he was really all up in ThorZaIN's business, pretty much preventing ThorZaIN from any countermeasures at all. Was a long game, was an interesting game. Can't say it was the most exciting game in the world. It felt fairly one-sided for quite a while. There was still the possibility of that one major push from ThorZaIN to do some damage, but without any economic harass, I think that was really ThorZaIN's biggest problem. I don't believe we saw a single drop from him to try to mess up the economy of HerO, and that would have helped him out a lot. Thanks again for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.